Hi everyone, we're here tonight, Monday night. We're going to be talking about holistic health and our hair. So I'm just waiting for Natalie to jump on, and I can't wait to hear all about her story and share with you all the links that she's found also as a hairdresser between your health and your hair and how we can sort of start taking care of it. Hi Nat,
Hi,
how are
how are
you?
you? I'm good, babe. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you so much for jumping on. I can't wait to go through your story with you and all the things that you've learned over the years about how health and hair are connected, just like myself. So, do you want to start first? Sort of what was your first signs of seeing the connection?
Ages ago, like I've been hairdressing for a long time. So when I was younger, I suffered from a lot of health problems due to chemicals in hair products, especially from the original keratin treatment. I did maybe like 3 or 4 treatments, and then I ended up getting burnt lungs and had to go to hospital. Yeah, so it was pretty intense. And then after that, I suffered pneumonia twice, and was in hospital for that. And then obviously I've just been working as a hairdresser for a while now. So I came into a few health problems of recent times where I just started feeling more and more tired, more and more unwell. My hair got thinner, just so many different factors. So I reached out to a naturopath finally for the first time.
Was going to a was going to a naturopath your first point?
No, oh no, no. My naturopath was like the last point that I took. Not because I didn't believe in it, I just was so uneducated, did not know what a naturopath did. The reason I ended up at a naturopath was because over the years I've going to hospital 4 to 5 times a year, maybe more. And every time I went, like they took an organ out or they put me on extreme medication and nothing healed itself. And then I'd keep going to hospital for the same issue. And they would like have no idea why. And then at the end of it, the last time I went to hospital was around the start of this year. And I remember I just had a headache for like 5 days straight. I couldn't even do a client's hair. And then I went to the doctors and I told them what was wrong. I had this migraine for 5 days, plus I broke out in a rash on my legs. And then they just gave me tramadol, like the strongest painkiller you could take. And then they're like, oh, just watch the rash. And I was like, okay. So I took the tramadol, and then I know myself, I'm like quite sensitive. I ended up getting a gastritis attack and pancreatitis attack. Went to hospital for 2 days. And then afterwards, they thought that I even had meningococcal meningitis because of the headache. Yeah. And then when I decided to go to naturopath, because at the end they said to me, you don't have meningococcal, but you have a swollen brain lining, and we don't know why, but you might have an autoimmune disease, but we don't know. So you'll just have to do a blood test to find out. So I was like, I am not going through that kind of medicine anymore. I'm going to a naturopath. And that's how I got to the point of going to a naturopath.
And autoimmune's hard because as soon as they rule something as autoimmune, it's like it's just autoimmune. They give you no further information of how to help or treat. It's just autoimmune. That's just how your body is. So, okay, so what did your naturopath find that all the other doctors and specialists didn't?
Yeah, so one of the main things that he found was I had SIBO, the small intestine bacterial overgrowth, and SIFO, which is fungus overgrowth as well. He said they're like the two main factors. And then he found that I had extremely high estrogen levels. I had dysfunctioning liver, dysfunctioning mitochondria, and I had what was the other thing he said I had? I had a few things that were wrong, and I'm still can't actually remember every single thing, but everything was completely out of balance.
But there was a big
Um,
on effect, right, of all these
yeah,
things. But what happens with a lot of people is that they don't actually know to go and get things checked until they see symptoms. And
Yeah.
symptoms usually show up as like you're fatigued, you may be depressed, you may have a bit of bloating after you eat and things like that. And we look at those symptoms as, oh, I've got a stomach ache, but you don't realize so many other things are happening in your body for that to actually present.
Exactly. Yeah, and I was actually the reason why I even like thought more so to reach out was because I was so tired. Like I work long days as a hairdresser, but I've been working for a long time. And it just got to the point where like I couldn't handle the whole day anymore and I was getting so tired. And I remember like thinking, how am I this tired? Like it was just like ridiculous how tired I felt. And when I found out that I had all these issues like with the liver, and had low thyroid, that's the other one. And when he told me about the low thyroid plus the liver dysfunction and mitochondria, which is like where your energy comes from, having that completely like dysfunctional, um, I was like, well, that makes sense why I'm so exhausted. And since then, I've obviously gone on a protocol, and that has just like changed my life. I'm lucky that I am doing it during a lockdown because the diet change is so severe. But it was worth it because it just has changed my body for the good so far. And like I'm still on this journey, so
So
it
you've
won't.
already connection between food and how your body functions, correct?
Yeah. Oh my God, I am a new person, like brand new.
So sometimes food, like a lot of people think food is just about how, like what you weigh, how you change and manipulate your body, but it also does impact the vitality, like your energy levels. And how important are your energy levels? You don't want to just look good or look a certain way. You actually want to have energy to get through the day. And we're
Hmm.
so used to having stimulants in our body, like the coffee, like all these things. And then, we're trying to constantly get ourselves in an elevated mood, or because we think we're tired, not realizing all the other things happening in our body. And then we literally are just sort of band-aid fixing. Like caffeine can sometimes be a band-aid fix for that energy instead of working out what's going on internally, right?
Well, I find that when you have coffee, like to be honest, like how much does it actually wake you up? Do you know what I mean? Like it does make you feel like a bit jittery and like maybe you get like a tiny bit of energy because in your mind you're like, oh, coffee makes me have energy, so I will have coffee. But realistically, it's even when you're that tired, sometimes when you have a coffee and you're that tired, you feel more tired because it's like too much caffeine. And in my case, having SIBO, like all the milk or soy milk or any kind of like pre-made milk is going to make my SIBO flare up, and then that's going to make me even more tired as well. So I think that a lot of people need to know that they just have to be open-minded and go to a naturopath just to get the tests done, just to actually know. Because I feel like a lot of people buy a lot of supplements, like they'll buy magnesium or like they'll buy the JS hair vitamins or they'll buy all these different supplements, but they don't actually know if they purely need them. And then they waste all this money on all these tablets, but they don't even know if they are low in that or high in that. They're just taking it because like it's on Instagram.
A stack on of so many health issues. Mine in particular was my estrogen levels, but then my 4-year-old, when she was 4-year-old, hers was something completely different. Hers was gut related, you know,
Mm.
which majority of the time that's one of the highest reasons why people are having hair loss issues at the moment. But if I'm going and taking the same medication as what she is in an adult dose, well, that's not really the answer. You have to sort of narrow down what is the answer for you.
Hmm. Yep. And I think that all the time. And like personally, I suffered hair loss when I was 22, like quite severely, just because I did IVF and I was being an egg donor. And when you're an egg donor, it's the same process as when you're actually doing the IVF for yourself. You just stop at the end before the actual like donation happens. And so because I was 22 and then I took all of these hormones and then just stopped, my hair just freaked out. And then like all through these bits where it's like a bit thinner now, they just were non-existent. Like through the crown here was very like see-through. Like I remember someone coming behind me at work and saying, "I can see your scalp, babe," and I was like, like so scared. And
Yeah.
so I chopped all my hair off as well. Like I had to chop it off. My hair was always like longer. I had to chop it off to here. The texture had changed completely. That was something that I was like, whoa, can't believe that my hair isn't soft anymore. It's just like fried chips. And then, yeah, just thin patches everywhere. So I always say when people come to my salon and they're like, oh, what shampoo can help fix the thickening of my hair? It's like, to be honest, like a product can only do so much. Like every product is really good for, like any product for that is really good. But a product can only do so much when you don't actually fix whatever's going on in here. Like if you're using like some hair thickening, like follicle stimulating activated shampoo, it's just probably going to keep the hair on your head that's there and make the scalp healthy. But if your hair's falling out or getting thinner because your hormones are out of balance or you have a thyroid condition or whatnot, like shampoo can't save you. So that's why I think now that I have had contact with a naturopath, you just really need to find out what is happening so that you have clarity and you can actually do something about it.
Absolutely. And what makes coming to Miss J Salon different? I love this.
So I think
Regards to the
because I
product use, knowing all that you know now.
yeah, so I think because I love to use as many chemical-free products as possible just to help remove like as many chemicals in your life. And I found this brand called Oway, and Oway is a biodynamically farmed hair color and shampoo and conditioner brand. What they do is they have a farm in Italy and it's a biodynamic farming. So if anyone doesn't know what a biodynamic farming is, it's just like one above organic, like it's to the next level where they have their own ecosystem, they have their own cows that eat, like make the soil, and then like they harvest the crops, and when the crops die, they just wait for them to like give life again. I didn't even know that was possible. And then when they and the waters from the river, it's very like its own ecosystem. And so when they harvest their crops, they do it at moonlight because that's when the energy of the moon draws the most nutrients to the top of the plant. So not only does the hair products have the most like nutrients and high quality ingredients, but it's really, really good for you. Like it doesn't have any levels of like PPD or PPT, which is what you use to actually color your hair. There's no ammonia. They use more, it's called a lippy butter, which is kind of like a shea butter if you want to look at it like that. So they're what the ammonia would be, or the like peroxide part of color is, they don't use that chemical. They use it activated with coconut and a lippy butter. So it's very like conditioning, like it comes out like a thick ice creamy kind of texture. We have to like mix it together with a little whip. So it's actually amazing. It's got like lavender oils and date oils for soothing for the scalp and everything. And every time anybody actually uses these kinds of products, it actually conditions your hair to be healthier, like their bleach as well. It's made from other butters. I don't know how to say it. It's like kakuki, I think. It's like a butter. And when you, like most bleaches come out like a powder and it smells like chemical, and you mix it together and it stinks and like always get a headache afterwards. Whereas with this stuff, it's literally like a white, thick butter mixed with like a really thick cream. So it's like a yummy looking paste. And it actually conditions your hair as you bleach it. So it avoids breakage. So obviously we're looking after your hair as much as possible from the outside, but also nothing is going on the inside to change you. Like they don't use like the parabens or anything like that. And parabens is something that actually changes your hormone levels.
So let's just talk about that for a second. So for those of you that don't know, obviously whatever you put on your skin, including color in your hair, your body actually absorbs. And when it absorbs it, that goes into your blood, and your blood is basically the river of life, as you would have learned as well the other day, Nat. So
Yes.
a river of blood is literally what makes the oxygen go through your body. It helps keep you young. It helps keep your cells alive. It helps give you, again, that vitality and make sure that all your organs and everything are functioning. So if you're putting toxins on your body or chemicals on your body as well, and this includes your hair, so the chemicals that you're using to color your hair, or it comes from everywhere, as most of you already know. But I don't think you understand the effects it has once it enters your bloodstream. So what Nat's saying is pretty much what she's using at the moment is a game changer, because it's one less chemical you need to be putting into your bloodstream.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I'm happy to, put my money, reposition my money into something that care of me and my health long term, than just do something because it's convenient and it's down the road, or it's a packet color or something. Like, yes, it may be cheaper, yes, it may be more budget friendly, but long term, how is that actually affecting your health and wellness? So
Yes.
I think people need to start thinking about a little bit broader.
Yeah, I really love that. And I like everything you said is spot on. It's so true. And obviously, the reason I even went to the effort to find all these things is because of my own health. So anything I bring into that salon, anything I do, it's because I want to be healthy, and it helps other people when you live that kind of lifestyle. And that's how I even found you, because obviously when you're looking for things for the salon to bring in that are healthy, and someone told me about your protein balls, how they were 78 calories or something like that. And when we were looking at, yeah. I was like, oh my God, it's crazy. And then when I messaged you about the ingredients, and you told me that you actually studied nutrition and that you made your own gluten-free oat flour because you had to, I was like, wow, that's really impressive. So I think that not only do people need to worry about their hair products and their beauty products, but they do need to think a little bit more about what they do put into their mouth too. And that all, like I was saying at the start, it's funny how food literally changes the composition of your body. It changes how your liver works, and your stomach, and your heart, and your kidney.
Told when I was 30 that I had high cholesterol, and my mum had a stroke when she was 40. So I was told I had to go on medication, and most of you know that once you jump on medication, you need to be on it for lifetime. I got told I had fatty liver disease, and I'm not a big drinker at all, that it's food related. I had a sugar addiction like crazy, to the point where I would shake if I wasn't having enough. I used to squeeze tubes of condensed milk into my mouth.
Oh my God.
I was insane. Still now, I have bouts of it if I'm not careful, which is why I developed what I developed, to try and tame and reduce all of that. But I said to my doctor, because I knew there was a better way. I said, I'm not going to go on to all these medications you're telling me I have to go on to. I said, give me 3 months. Give me 3 months to reverse all of these things. And if, when I come back and do my bloods again, if they are still high, then okay, I'll take them. But seeing my family's history, so a lot of people say, yeah, but my mum has it, or my dad has it, or it runs in my family. Yes, it runs in your family because the same habits run in your family, the same diet runs in your family, the same, you know what I mean? So a lot of people don't sit there and take into account that, you're actually eating same as your mum. So that would make sense why you have similar conditions. It's not necessarily always, not everything, obviously there's heart disease and things like that as well, but it's generally to do with that stacking of habits that you have as someone else. So I literally changed everything. My eating, I shifted a lot of things, and my doctor was like, well, what did you do? What did you do? And I did the same. My daughter, her I actually still have her pediatrician and her specialist messaging me things about gut health, because they are not actually trained in gut health and in nutrition. They're not. They don't.
I think they need to be.
Well, you would think they would be, but they are not actually trained in food and how it actually correlates with the body, which is bizarre.
Yeah, and you know what? I want to just touch on what you said earlier about how um like your habits are from your family, and that's why we have hereditary disease, because I had my gallbladder removed when I was 20 years old. And every single person in my family, except for one of my aunties, has had their gallbladder removed. And so and they're like, oh, it must be hereditary. It must be hereditary. If everyone in your family's got it. I'm like, literally, exactly what you said. We all eat the same. We all live the same. And the one auntie that actually doesn't have it is the only one that doesn't eat the same and live the same, as she's a vegan.
Yeah.
Not saying you have to be vegan, but like she was the only vegan in this Croatian family. So she didn't have any issues, didn't eat like us. So she didn't have to get her gallbladder removed like we did.
Yeah. I get it. And you know what? I just saw my water filter as well. And I think you learnt this the other day with me as well.
Yeah.
And I just love dropping little tips in these lives that we do. And so water in glass, and we need to add oxygen to the water, right? So because we're made up of, what was it, 80% water. So
Yeah.
in order to add oxygen to our water, what do you have to do? Do you remember?
You shake it.
Shake it up before you drink it. What was the word? Iodize it?
Iodize. Yeah, I think it's
Yes.
iodize it.
And then that means you're actually naturally giving oxygen back into your water, and then you drink it. So
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Because they said, from what I remember, it was that like the oxygen, like the little cells, they like clump together when they're still for too long. So it doesn't like, it just becomes like dead water. So you have to shake it up to bring it back to life.
The water up before you're drinking it.
Yeah, when I learned that, I was like, wow, like it's so true. And then you realize that like your energy, to be honest, all comes from oxygen or water. So when you're eating foods that are like dehydrating and drinking alcohol that's dehydrating, and like not getting in like 5 minutes of deep breathing just to meditate, is also like you're getting no oxygen, or you're not breathing most of the day. Like I realized before we learned everything that I was holding my breath a lot. Like I'd sit there and I just like not even.
Crazy that we are born and the first thing we do is take a breath, and the last thing we do is take a breath, right? But yet we are never how to master our breath.
I agree. And like even learning to breathe properly, like what we did, like you sit there and you think, if you take a deep breath,
yep,
yeah, it needs to go down into your stomach, and you have to let your stomach go to let the air like actually suction in. And so many times when I would meditate, I'd breathe in, but I'd breathe in like that.
So guys, remember that when you learn how to breathe properly, that will help you reduce your stress levels. And when you reduce your stress levels, this is connected to your cortisone levels. Cortisone is the stress hormone ultimately, and this wreaks havoc on your body. It makes you lose your hair. It makes you hold on to weight around the tummy and torso areas. Want to learn how to breathe, guys, because if you breathe and you're getting that oxygen through the body, you're regulating, it helps regulate some of your hormones so that you're not having all these side effects.
Yeah, and actually to touch on that, just because like I know a few personal trainers and people, and I've trained a lot myself in the past, and because of those cortisol levels when they go up when you train, but there's like a particular amount that's good, and that obviously will help you. But then there's the people that overtrain, and this is what I see in clients that do a lot of overtraining. Their hair gets thin, the hairline. Sorry, my phone just had a little bit of a moment. Yeah, so when you're overtraining and under eating, and you're not like, you're feeling stressed because you want to be so lean, or you're feeling stressed because you need to work out and you don't sleep enough, and then you train so many times a week and you don't even know why you like look the same or whatever. It's because your stress levels are too high, because you're not only stressing about like your weight, but you're stressing to go to the gym, and you're stressing about what food to eat, and you're just all stressed.
Guys, remember as well that a lot of the time what you see with, you know, all the Fitspo and stuff, you're not meant to necessarily look like that year round and be that lean year round. So, you know, because you're lacking in your micronutrients, and you need the healthy fats in there for different, to regulate things as well, and that plays its part on your hair as well.
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask while I had you here about like your protein balls. So like with the nutrition that's in them, do they like are they like when your insulin can rise because there's too many sugars. Yours are like quite steady, aren't they?
Correct. So it is like a low GI. Your sugar
Yeah.
release is low. It is so there's energy balls, there's health balls, and the base of the sugar or the sweeteners in it could be dates. It could be, some people do agave or honey or maple. My ones have rice malt syrup because it, for a few different reasons. But yes, it does release the energy slowly, like your sugar levels slowly. Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like that's one thing that a lot
Don't
of
get
people
those
just.
spikes and crash.
Yeah, because that's what, like, before I had the before I met you or heard of you, and before I even did the naturopath, when I was tired, I'd instantly be like, all right, protein ball. I'm gonna just get like any of them, like whatever protein balls at 7-Eleven, or like I just need to get something. So I'm like, I need to get through the day, and then I'll like eat it, and then I will crash like crazy. On top of it, I obviously had SIBO, so whatever was in it was
Correct.
making it worse. But they were sweet. Like there were like a lot of sugar in them.
And remember that the ones on the shelves, a lot of sugar sometimes, or different preservatives in there so that they can last longer on the shelf. There is that factor. And
Yeah.
then is not all protein balls are equal. You've got different ingredients in them for different reasons. And you want your protein to be the highest macro, right?
Exactly. And yours, from memory, how long do they actually last for when you get them? Like you have to eat them within a certain time frame.
Keep
2 weeks.
them in the, yeah, or you can put them 3 months in the freezer.
And that's what I think is so good when you have something that is edible that doesn't last forever.
Well,
That's real food.
to look out for, guys, on, not like, they're not in my protein balls, they are in quite a few products on the shelves. So when you're buying things, there's an ingredient called lecithin, and again, it's sort of a stabilizer. It's in a lot of things, but that absolutely ruins your gut lining as well, long term.
Wow.
Something you
Yeah.
want. So sometimes when you look at something, don't just look at what's in it, look at what's not in it. Like, look at
Hmm.
all the I haven't included in there as well. So that's another little thing on labels to keep an eye on.
Yeah, especially like you said earlier, you want the protein to be the highest macro, and most of the time they're actually just like balls of carbs.
Yeah, correct.
It's so funny. I don't understand. Yeah, so I think that like it all coincides together, and at the end of the day, I really, really encourage like all my clients to look at going to a naturopath, talking about changing their daily habits, because if they want their hair to be like the thickest that it can be, like it probably can be thicker, it probably can feel better. There's just something going on inside, which
Well, my
I'm not
natural
a doctor.
typically, oh no, your hair is too thin at the moment. We need to thicken your hair up, because as you age, your hair is going to naturally thin. So you want it to thin to what it is today, not thin further than what it is today. So
Exactly.
it's definitely a part of your wellness. It should definitely be something we take care of a little bit more, not just what color it is or what our cut is, but also the health of it long term.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Because the thing is, like, if you want to have a really beautiful cut and color, you can't see it when you're missing your hair. You
Well, that's
basically.
right. Like, you want to make sure that, you can go and buy the best products, but if the skin underneath is not sort of exfoliated, taken care of, and your base is not taken care of, then the product, the end goal, the outcome is not going to be the best it can be. So that should be the same with your hair, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I like the shampoo that I got in. I have this other brand called Oway, which is a little bit more of like a fancier kind of shampoo. It doesn't promote itself as being all natural, mainly because the only thing that's a bit unnatural in there is some perfume. But it's not even perfume; it's just unnatural, like synthetic essential oils, because they just don't want to use real essential oils because it might react to someone's skin. It's like more likelihood to react. But they're like a skincare grade quality shampoo and conditioner. So they use like that clinical side of the skincare range products inside their shampoos so that it will actually stop you from getting a reaction all over your body. Because, you know, when you shampoo your hair, it goes all over your body. It doesn't just go on your head. And your scalp is skin too. And they're paraben free, and they have like really beautiful ingredients, and each different one is very bespoke to the style. And that makes a huge difference to the way your hair looks and feels as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for going through all that with us tonight, and
Thank you.
Story and why you've chosen to sort of take a more holistic approach with your salon. And I can't wait to share more when you open and as you go through 2022.
Yes, thank you. I can't wait to have you in there and have some more of your protein balls when I'm off of this SIBO diet.
Yeah, let's get that sorted first. So a lot of people want to do things, but you know, once you get your gut, I think it was with you I was talking as well now, once you get your sort of gut healed and get all of that sort of done, you'll notice the connection with sort of your concentration, your clarity, that fogginess from your mind goes. You can make decisions quicker. You're just a little sharper when the gut and the mind connection is clear.
That's it. Well, this has been the best chat ever. Thank you. I hope that my clients get to watch this and we'll change the world.
That's it. Talk soon.
Bye, babe.
Bye.